I'm Jerry Godley, and I am the curator of the jazz, world music and traditional music Strand at the Kilkenny Arts Festival. So, as with previous years, I've got a lot of very strong music rhythmically, stuff that has a really strong life force in it. So we're bringing a guy called Aziz Samoui, who is a Moroccan musician, formerly of a group called Orchestre National de Barbès, which was a really kind of famous group in Paris actually over the last 20 years, because it was kind of made up of different expats and emigres from all over the Maghreb, so places like Algeria and Morocco and so forth. Ivo Papasav, who is kind of the patriarch in some ways of the world music scene. He's maybe the greatest clarinet player in the world, and he's also the king of Bulgarian wedding music. And to be the king of wedding music in the Balkans is a really big deal, because actually the relationship between music and weddings, it's a very deep thing. The weddings are very long, they're attended by maybe thousands of people. I mean, they're much more like big open air concerts really. And traditionally what happens is you put on the band and people travel from all over. I mean, they might travel a long way, and they will travel a long way to hear somebody like Ivo. So I suggest Irish people should travel a long way to hear Ivo. It's very exciting music, it's very ecstatic, it has that wildness to it. It has that wildness, actually, that we look for in our own traditional music sometimes. In St. Canice's, on the final day of the festival, we've got what I think is going to be a very special project that we may or may not see again. It's like a one-off project called Dawn, and it involves 4 or 5 different moving parts, one of which is Theo Dorgan, who's written a kind of text and libretto, which is to do with the sea and maritime tradition. And then that is articulated through a couple of different bands, one of which is Guidewires, which is a great Irish traditional band, of course. And then Can, who are variously, it involves Irish musicians, English musicians, Scottish musicians, and they are maybe the kind of one of the hottest tickets in traditional music in these islands at the moment. Very virtuosic, very exciting, a very fresh approach to traditional music. And then another component of Dawn is for really masters of Breton traditional music, and of course there's a strong kind of connective tissue between Irish traditional music and Breton music. And then Aleph McCormick, who's a Scottish singer who's been touring with the Chieftains and doing stuff like that. So it's a big project. It's about 18 musicians on stage. It has a lot of moving parts. It has this strong kind of narrative element to it, and I think that's going to be a really fantastic finale to the festival. We are everywhere. You won't be able to avoid us throughout the month of August, but obviously the key portal is to go to the festival website, www.kilkennyarts.ie.